The first episode of the series, Sevdiğim Sensin, premiered in a way that truly astonished the audience. From the very first minutes, it became clear that this was not a story like the others. The plot begins with events we have never encountered in familiar dramas before. This is not merely a love story, it is a story about destiny, freedom, pain, and choice. At the center of the narrative is a young woman from a remote mountain village. Since the age of 6, her world has been limited to those harsh mountains and rugged cliffs. She has never left her homeland, never seen a city, never known what another world might look like. Her life has passed under the strict control of her older brothers. She grew up in obedience, not in freedom. Her existence was devoted entirely to her family, to her ill mother, whom she cared for with quiet self-sacrifice, and to her brothers, whose word was law for her. She cannot read or write. She does not know what it means to make her own choices. More than that, she does not even dare to dream. She has been deprived not only of a future, but of the very right to imagine one. In her eyes there is submission, in her soul, a silent and deeply hidden pain. And then one day, a young man from the city appears in her path. A chance encounter that changes everything. From that moment on, her destiny begins to rewrite itself. This story follows the life of Erkan, a young, handsome, educated, and wealthy man from Istanbul, the son of a respected and influential family, and Dijle, a simple, naive, and trusting girl raised among the mountains, who has almost forgotten her own worth. Their accidental meeting gradually turns into a powerful love. We witness how a deep and sincere connection grows between two completely different worlds, a love both beautiful and destined to face trials. This love will become both light and pain for them. For it, they will have to struggle, to suffer, to confront fear and circumstances. And at the same time, it will draw them, and those around them, into a whirlwind of heavy, sometimes cruel. Before we continue this story, dear viewers, let me remind you, if you want to discover how the events will unfold, stay with us. To avoid missing new episodes, keep watching the upcoming videos. And if you would like to stay informed about previous parts and updates about the series, visit my channel, watch earlier videos, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion truly matters. Now, let us continue from where we left off. Erkan is assigned to military service in the very region where Dijle lives. It feels as though fate is deliberately bringing their paths together once again. One night, while on duty, Erkan notices a slender figure emerging from the darkness. A girl quickly grabs some food and tries to flee. It is Dijle. There is no malice in her actions, only desperation and fear for her sick mother. Naturally, Erkan runs after her. He follows her all the way to her home, a fragile hut barely standing among the cold mountains. Yet instead of anger or harsh accusations, he remains calm. He manages to convince Dijle that he means her no harm. And it is important to emphasize this, Erkan has no ill intentions. He is well-raised, honorable, and always guided by his conscience. His heart simply would not allow him to act otherwise. When he steps inside, he is deeply shaken. Despite the cold weather, the roof is partially open, the night sky visible through it. The walls are damp, the wind seeps inside. It is hardly a home, it is a shelter struggling to survive. He learns that Dijle's mother is seriously ill and that there is no one to care for them. Without hesitation, Erkan offers to take them to the military camp, where they could receive protection and temporary shelter. But Dijle refuses. Fear trembles in her voice. She explains that her brothers could return at any moment. If they do not find them at home, their anger would be terrifying. Her words leave Erkan stunned. He cannot believe that in the modern world a young woman still lives in such complete submission. He asks her age. "I'm 20, she answers softly. 20 years old. Erkan struggles to hide his surprise. He tells her that she is already an adult, that she has every right to choose her own path and make decisions about her future. But Dijle does not fully understand him. To her, freedom is an unfamiliar concept. Calmly, she replies that this is her life, and she does not complain. Realizing that he cannot change her mind so quickly, Erkan decides at least to ease their suffering. He offers to repair the roof. In gratitude, Dijle says she will prepare flatbread for him. While Erkan works on the roof, another, darker scene unfolds in the mountains. A group of fugitives has long been watching the house. Learning that the girl lives alone with her sick mother, they came with the intention of kidnapping her. But fate intervenes, a soldier is now in the yard. One of the fugitives spots Erkan and whispers to the others that they must wait until the soldier leaves. Otherwise, there will be serious trouble. The others agree. They remain hidden in the shadows among the rocks, watching and waiting, like predators ready to strike at any moment. Meanwhile, Erkan continues his work, completely unaware that danger is already very close. So they remained hidden in the darkness, like hungry wolves, waiting for the moment when Erkan would leave. Their patience was cold and predatory. They watched from the shadows without making a single sound. But Erkan had no intention of leaving. As he repaired the roof, the night slowly faded away. The sky in the east turned pale pink, and the first rays of sunlight touched the harsh mountain peaks. With the dawn came a deceptive silence. The dough Dijle had prepared for the flatbread had risen. She lit the fire. The soft flames illuminated her face, giving it a gentle glow. There was simplicity and calmness in her movements, yet her heart was beating faster than usual. Erkan finished his work and came down. He sat closer to the fire, across from her. A quiet morning silence settled between them, not awkward, but filled with something new and warm. Dijle baked the first flatbread and handed it to him. Erkan took a bite. A sincere smile appeared on his face. "I've never tasted anything so delicious in my life," he said. There was not a trace of pretense in his voice. Dijle lowered her eyes shyly, but deep inside she felt unexpected joy. Her simple offering had pleased him, and to her, that meant more than any grand gesture. Erkan ate a few more pieces, continuing to observe her. He was increasingly amazed by her sincerity, her trustfulness, her inner purity. He could not understand how such a bright soul could survive in such a harsh world. He began asking questions. During the conversation, Dijle mentioned that she had brothers. That they made decisions for her. That her life belonged to their word. Erkan could not hide his indignation. He firmly told her that she did not have to live under such strict control. That she was already 20 years old. That she had the right to choose how to live, whom to love, and where to go. But Dijle shook her head. "This is not your city," she said quietly. "Here, the rules are different. And I must obey them." Her words did not sound like an excuse, they sounded like a sentence she had passed on herself. Then Erkan said he could speak with her brothers. At that moment, real fear appeared in Dijle's eyes. She quickly asked him not to say anything. "Otherwise, they will punish me." "Punish you?" Erkan repeated, confused. "Do they beat you?" Dijle realized the conversation was becoming too dangerous. Any confession could make things worse. She abruptly ended the discussion, told him he should not come back here again, and hurried inside. Erkan remained standing, watching her go. Anger, concern, and determination mixed within him. He understood that he could not simply walk away and forget her. But duty called. He picked up his weapon and equipment and was about to leave the yard when he noticed movement behind the wall. Someone was watching him. Erkan instantly tensed. "Who are you?" "Come out," he commanded firmly. Men stepped out of the shadows. Armed. Their eyes were cold. One of them calmly told Erkan to continue on his way, that they had nothing against him. But Erkan stepped forward. "Who are you? And what do you want?" The answer was short. "We came for the girl. We'll take her and leave." Something boiled inside Erkan. "I won't give her to you." One of the men smirked. "Don't risk your life over some girl." Erkan replied firmly. "If I only cared about my own life, I wouldn't be wearing this uniform." He ordered them to stop. But they began slowly surrounding him from all sides, entering the yard like a pack of predators. Erkan raised his weapon and warned them again, "Stop and leave." And then the first shot rang out. A real gunfight began. Bullets whistled through the air, shattering stones and striking the walls. Erkan fired back and wounded one of the attackers. But soon he felt a sharp pain, a bullet grazed his arm. This was no longer a confrontation, it was a fierce battle. Hearing the gunshots, Dijle ran out of the house. "Erkan," she cried, calling him inside. He heard her voice and shouted for her to go back inside immediately. But she could not leave. Her fear for him was stronger than her fear for herself. Realizing she might be caught in the crossfire, Erkan rushed out from cover toward her. At that moment, a storm of bullets rained down on him. One of them struck him in the abdomen. He staggered and collapsed at the doorstep, blood spreading beneath him. The world seemed to freeze. Dijle ran to him. Her hands were trembling, tears blurring her vision, but with all her strength she tried to lift him. With desperate effort, she dragged him inside the hut. They managed to take shelter behind the walls. But the danger was not over. Gunfire continued outside. Bullets pierced the walls, kicked up dust, and struck the stones. The small hut trembled with every shot. Inside, a wounded Erkan and a terrified Dijle. They had no time to think, no plan, no escape. The deadly threat was still very close. And it is at this tense moment that we must pause. If you want to find out whether Erkan will survive, whether they will escape this trap, and what awaits them next, be sure to watch the upcoming episodes. Subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell so you don't miss the continuation of this story. See you in the next video. Stay safe.